All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another DC Worlds Collide video. This is Mr. Squirrel. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And as always, I'm glad to have you here. So let's talk a little bit about progressing through the story. So I streamed earlier this week, and I got on my first stream. I was stuck on 2230. I got some really good feedback from some chatters, and one thing that I wanted to kind of talk through is in my team. I want to look at my team right now. We'll go here. So mind you, I'm playing at a very severe deficit right now, 704 versus 1,134. So one thing I was originally having on my team, and I was having her as a staple, was Zatanna. Now here's the issue with Zatanna. Zatanna gives you crit rate and lifesteal. Now, there is an issue with that kind of that ability on teams that are a little bit more tanky, with a few characters doing damage and the other characters just kind of like being walls. So what that means for this team specifically is that Lex and John, who don't do the most damage but are walls in their own right, when they deal damage, even though they may be critting, that lifesteal isn't doing too much for them. It's only like 4 or 5. It's like 4% lifesteal. As she gets ranked up, it does more, but like that's not a lot. And though they are critting at some points, maybe sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. They're not built to crit. They're not built to do a lot of damage. So this team actually just doesn't have a lot of good sustain. Now, granted, Hal and Jess do a decent amount of damage, so they are making good use of that lifesteal. But in the end, what's happening here is this team is not sustaining well enough because it's trying to do too much. And Zatanna is a great support, but on this team, she's not the best support. And what I was given some feedback is that, you know, your support is really lacking on this team. I've actually never had, I think, a good support. Before this was Ocean Master, then it was Zatanna, two characters that do not synergize well with Lex Luthor. But two characters that do synergize very well with Lex Luthor is, the first is Pandora, but she needs a lot of investment because she's going to be hurting herself in the process, and her heal is based on her ult. So she's not innately healing. She is giving shields, which is a good shield, but she's more of like a damagey support. This team is fine on damage. What it needs is sustain, because the issue that was happening is once the team gets through the shield, then I'm just screwed, right? So I want to show you, we're going to do a comparative video here. I'm going to replace, I'm going to put Zatanna here. I'm going to keep everything the same, and we're just going to let this team roll out the way it's going to roll out. Okay? So watch. Okay. Now, granted, Zatanna is rank 7, but I'm going to show you we're going to pay attention to the sustain on this team, and we're going to talk through this in a minute. But this team is based on shield. Its sustain comes from its ability to shield. This is also good because this team does so well. There goes my back line. See? Now I'm going to make an adjustment in a moment to show how I would fix this in this given situation, because I have John ulting first here, which is also, I think, part of the problem, because the way 24/6 is set up is that these guys in the back just essentially destroy your entire back line and then, kiss your butt goodbye. So here we go. We get the heal. We get this. But my backline is already very dead, right? Which is not good. Then we get this. They're doing a ton of damage here. I think, so I'm going to flip a few things around a little bit. We'll talk through it in a moment. See, he's already dead. That's by. And granted, I do have this on auto. It's not doing the best. I'm just trying to show a few things right now. And we're going to use this control. It's going to be controlled here. What I mean by controlled is I'm going to not take it off auto. I'm going to move a few things around, and then I will do this. So we're not winning this. So let me go back to restart. So let's change up the alts. I'm going to do it like this, with John going last. And then we'll do, this is, I think, the preferred way to do this. And we'll try it again with, I think, the better way to ult, because that way the shields will help keep my backline alive. And I want to make sure that Lex Luthor is ulting as much as possible, right? Okay. Okay, great. Now notice, look how much less damage, because again, that's why I ulted first. Now look at Jess here is getting demolished. She's probably going to be dead in a little bit. I'm actually going to take it off auto now. And I'm going to see, now one of the issues that I'm having here, I don't have a heal here, right? So I have no way to save Jess here. Like, there's nothing here. That's the issue at hand here. I have no way to save her. And then she's about to get blasted. See, and she's gone. So now my backline is already dead. Right? So there goes that. Because Zatanna has no, like, there's no way to, like, she's doing more of a sustained, if a whole team's doing a lot of damage. See, then there, he's gone too. We're done. So people are going to be like, you sabotaged them. You didn't play it perfectly. But I want to show how this team, once they lose the HP, because Zatanna is more lifesteal that kind of sustains a team that all of them are doing damage. Now, granted, on this one, the characters in the back do a ton of damage, but again, that lifesteal is not counteracting the amount of damage they're taking, right? So she's not optimal. She's good. She's good support. But based on what this team is, which is this team is slower than other teams because it's all about shielding. Now, since my team, for the most part, doesn't do the most damage, right? But it does do decent damage. So now instead, what we're going to do is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put who does heal. So mind you, now I also have the Philosopher's Stone on him, which is a goated support artifact. Oop. So I'm actually going to restart that because you want him. I want Lex to cast the shield before Bane ults because then it minimizes the it minimizes the damage that he's about to take. See, because now everyone's taking 12% reduced damage. Now, granted, Lex Luthor's artifact is not the best in this situation. Now, watch here. This is why this is so important. Okay. Because, remember, Kid Flash heals a ton. And I just gave Zatanna the heal that she needed. Okay. And remember, this is on auto. I'm not playing this right now. But I'm trying to show how different supports do different things in these compositions. And they serve... Well, she's gone already. That is what it is. Okay, that's actually good. Okay, there we go. We got Kid Flash doing Kid Flash things. He's healed back up. Again, the healing here is what's so great. Poison is very brutal. Okay, that cleanse is phenomenal. All right, hopefully Lex Luthor. Okay, we got the heal in the back. That's helpful. That'll help keep sustained. Okay, we got that going. Okay, now we got the heal. The shields on everybody. Perfect. Hal Jordan's going to go in and do his ult again. I was really hoping that was going to kill. It did not. That's very bad. I think Hal's about to be dead now. Yeah, there we go. He's dead. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to do this on not auto. So now I'm actually going to play it. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, now, normally I actually like to do Jess first because Jess' shield is still a shield and it will mitigate the damage that Bane's about to do. Because I like having that heal. That's going to hurt a little bit. Okay. You know, everybody gets a shield. Let's do this. Okay. So we're going to give the heal to Jess. I don't need to waste Lex's ult just yet because remember, it gets more costly the more he does it. So you do, if you can minimize, okay, perfect. He just got the cleanse. All right, let's get this. Okay, now we're going to do this to heal the back. We're going to now go with Lex Luthor in the front. We're going to then throw the shield. Tons of damage. Great. It did hurt. We're fine. We're still good. Oh, this is going to sting a little bit for Hal. Okay, she's going to give him... Nope, she gives herself the shield. Okay, he just cleansed it, though. Okay, let's see if we can get a stun going. Come on, let's get that stun. Stun, perfect. All right, there's a stun. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to shield. There we go. We got Jess's shield up. She just got there. That's an auto crit. Perfect. Okay, great. Just gave shields to him. Tons of shields, tons of damage mitigation. That's going to hurt a little bit. Okay. No, I'm going to shield it back. Okay, he just healed himself. So what I'm going to do here is I do want to shield up because I don't want Hal to die. Again, you're noticing how Kid Flash is just doing so much solid sustain here. Oh, and there goes him. Oh, this is going to sting. Okay, now we're going to get a free ult here. Okay, I think this is still somewhat possible because remember, my main damage dealer is going to be Hal Jordan. And then we're going to do this to throw the ult. I'm going to get some bonus attack power because it's going to kill Bane in this instance. Okay, Bane is now gone. Okay, oh, yeah. So, now I'm done. But much better if you noticed here. So when we talk about sustain versus your team, so I'm gonna pause there to just kind of go through a few things that are happening in this scenario. Now, granted, are there better artifacts for different characters? There are. I don't think Lasso's the best with Hal Jordan because Hal does a lot of damage. Actually, believe it or not, there's just a lot of min-maxing that I need to be doing in my characters. And I actually want to put we'll talk about it in a moment. So once Hal gets to badge 30, his ult just does more. So the first time his first ult is actually his weakest ult. His second ult and every ult beyond that is always going to have a 26%, at least 26% damage increase, right? So his second ult on does enormous amounts of damage. Second ult, it's always 26% increase because every plane that hits, it gives a 2% damage bonus, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to fully get into it. But what I'm trying to get at here is, so one of the feedback was I was really stuck because my team is not the fastest team. It's kind of like, I think of it like a paladin team, right? Your job is to do damage, and it does good damage, but it also is meant to out tank the other team in the process of doing that. And I do that through a combination of Lex Luthor, my 3 shielders, but they aren't enough. They need more shielding. Now, I think if they ever add, which they will at some point, another shielder who is a tank that may add even a small shield to the rest of the team, that would be pretty dope. Again, I do need to get Lex up to badge 20. At 20, his shield becomes a lot better. So and I will make another video, because my first one was just an early game view of him. I'm going to get him to badge 20. That's going to be pretty much middle investment. He's getting close to it. He has the preferred artifact on with him. And again, I do really want to wait. There's a lot of moving parts, but more of what I wanted to get at is Kid Flash. So I hadn't been investing in Kid Flash. Now I did give him, this is what I gave him. He has the Philosopher's Stone, which at the start of round 1 gains 1 stack of vitality and 2 stacks of haste. So it just makes him even faster, which is why I have 4 HP, 4 healing, 2 speed. He does not need more speed. He's so fast in the beginning. And increases speed by, so this just essentially, and then vitality essentially receives 1 additional energy after the end of a turn, max of 3 stacks. So he gains 1 stack, which means he's just giving 1 extra energy to the team. That's really, really good. That makes things move a lot faster. Now, I do want to hopefully get this at rank 3. I want to get this to rank 3 eventually, because then that buffs up to vitality gives 2 stacks. That means there's 2 energy he's giving in the beginning, and that's amazing. This right here also, when triggered upon casting the next ultimate, regains ultimate point. Why this is super amazing in the sense that he like with the Philosopher's Stone, when your support casts the ult, their energy just stays, right? So then the next person can cast it, right? So the Philosopher's Stone I think is one of the phenomenal artifacts. Very good on almost every support in the game. Yada yada yada. I'm not gonna get too far into it, but especially sports that have a little bit more costly ultimates, they just keep that the ult energy. But the point I wanted to show in this video is that you saw how much longer I was able to sustain that fight. Now, why this is so important? Because if you caught the stream a couple days ago, I was stuck on 2230 for 4 days. I could not get past it. Just couldn't out sustain the damage that I was being dealt, right? Put Kid Flash on the team, got him up to rank 5. So he was not 8, what he was right now. Rank 5 took me about an hour of just manual play. And then I was able to bypass 2230. And I actually, with Kid Flash on the team at rank 5, got all the way to 2330 within the next day. I just flew through the whole 2330 because all of it was green. I'm just green, agile, whatever, right? But it was green, and I had my main DPS is red. So Hal was literally just melting all of chapter 23, and that's what got me to chapter 24. Now, granted, it is green again, but we are dealing with some, pretty severe power differences here. I'm going to try another thing in a little bit, but I do really want to show how crazy this is in terms of like the right support, the optimal support really changes up the team and really makes certain comps work a lot better. This will be, so Hal, Lex, Jess, John, if they ever make another tank that does shields for the team, I will replace him later, but for right now, he does what I need him to, he's good, right? I do want, if he gets to badge rank 30, if I get enough to get him there, then he just becomes super duper amazing. But at the same time, I really want to get Lex to badge 30, at least 20 right now, because of just how crazy his level 20 badge is for his shield. I might actually stop there, but I kind of don't want to, because when he loses his shield at rank there, there's a lot of stuff in terms of stats that are really good for Lex. And this is my main team. And then with Kid Flash, though, and then he's the 5th member on that team. And so there would really need to be a support that does healing and shielding like he does. Because with Jess, you do want more shields. That's the only issue with this team, is because he's not shielding, he doesn't really help Jess at all. But that's neither here nor there. I do think eventually they will release a healer shielder support. When they do, I'm going to go Hamtaro for it and then throw him on the team. But in that case, Kid Flash is still good. He's got a decent leader skill. I can just kind of make a healing comp with him. So other than that, he's still really good, right? But that's just what I wanted to talk about this video, is like really kind of go over pairing the correct supports with the correct team. So Zatanna, though, a team that she's very good in, is going to be a block team. Because on the block team, let's just go here to Ocean Master, is that his leader skill, his synergy, is that whenever anyone blocks the whole team 4 times, the whole team gets 4% increase to attack, right? Then go up to 30%. Well, you're getting a lot of attack in that regard, right? And then so when Zatanna is giving you crit and lifesteal, that attack now is supplemented by the crit and the lifesteal, so that actually you can do quite a bit of damage, and then at the same time you're healing a lot of it back up, right? Different form of a different form of team functionality. But you also treat Ocean Master, you're like, well, then you have 2 supports on this team. Ocean Master isn't really a support. He's just a damage dealer masked as a support, because I mean, his counters are doing a lot. You treat him as a damage dealer, so you still kind of need a support on that team, because he's not, I mean, his leader skill at rank 10 does heal, but it's not a lot of healing, but it's still healing. So you combine Zatanna with him, and now you've actually got a decent amount of sustain in the form of lifesteal plus the healing from blocking. And so then this team actually does work really, really well. And then you just need a really good DPSer, Sinestro, Deathstroke, Wonder Woman. Those all work. You just throw them on with Blue Beetle and Nightwing in the front, and that works out perfectly. It's probably I think that is the best team in the game. But like, again, let's talk a little bit about, so the newest character that just came out. I'm going to talk about this for a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of, so I need to do more testing on him, but he just came out, and that's going to be Mr. Terrific. Now, I'm going to say this, and it might be a hot take. Mr. Terrific is a terrible support if you're not running a leader skill, because he has no innate sustain. None. Zero sustain. Could he work on a block team? I actually think he might work on a block team in a weird way, as not the leader, though, because you can put him in the front, and then that damage then whoever's targeting him would get targeted to someone else, and then that someone else takes a lot less damage, but then that's kind of like then the block, what's the point of block? So maybe, not really. My point is, however, here's the thing. So I think this is the most crucial. He's the reason I'm making this video. you need to build around Mr. Terrific's leader skill. Supports in this game, and I think this is an okay way to do it, they're very niche. And on the right comp, they're amazing. On the wrong comp, they're god awful. Like, Ocean Master is horrible with Lex. Like, he's literally dead weight because he can't counterattack because the shield will override the block. Because if you're shielded, you technically don't take the damage. So the block doesn't actually trigger, yada, yada, yada. And so what I'm trying to get at here is that the right support is really important for the right team. I would go watch any of the synergy videos I've put out. They go through a lot of this. But for Mr. Terrific specifically, he is super specific in the characters he wants on his team. Super specific. You do not want physical damage dealers. Let's just say, okay, long story short, if you haven't watched any of the other videos, you're just watching this one right now. Mr. Terrific does not want physical damage dealers, nor does he want any, he can't have a tank on the team. So when you think about that, you're very limited in the terms of the characters that you can use with him. There are 4 characters. Because remember, you can't run a tank for his leader skill, then it doesn't operate at all. There are 4 characters currently, right now, in end of July, start of August, that work with him as a tank. There are 4. Those are DCU Superman, Dr. Phosphorus, who I think is actually one of the best. Then there's Mara, Guy Gardner. I would not, so the way I would operate it is you run Mara with Guy, that's one, or you run Phosphorus with Superman. Now you can do Superman with other ones. I do like to mix and match tanks a little bit. I don't normally like having the same color tank together, like red and red, blue and blue. I like usually to alternate them because if you go up against if you're running Nightwing and then you have another, agile defensive tank, you're going up against a team that's got a couple mighty characters, they're going to burn through your tank super duper fast. It creates a problem. But let's just say you have opposing colors, then you're covering that color wheel and you're especially for tanks, then they run the potential of not just burning through your 2 tanks and then destroying your DPS in the back. So that's why I like Mara with Guy. Also, Dr. Phosphorus, I just want to highlight one quick thing with Dr. Phosphorus. We'll just do this really fast. So I want to show one thing about him. Is green. Why I like that is because he does a lot of damage in his own right. But on the burn team, you're running pretty much all reds. It's Superman, DCU, Superboy, and Starfire. All red, mighty, whatever. Same thing. And then you've got the support of Mr. Terrific, and then you've got Dr. Phosphorus as your other main tank besides DC Superman. Because you've got the red and the green, it's real that way. So like Constantine is going to terrorize Constantine, Dr. Fate, and Sinestro terrorize Superman, the new Superman, and the old Superman. They're both of them are weak to superpower damage. So if the other team is running a Constantine, a Sinestro, a Dr. Fate, even Jessica Cruz, anyone that's doing superpower damage and a lot of it, they're going to walk through DCU Superman. They're just he will get demolished because he's taking extra damage from them. He's very good against physical damage, not good against superpower damage. So you want a character, Dr. Phosphorus, who's green, that is doing AoE damage. I would actually say his ult should start the whole thing off. He's, burning, doing tons of damage to everybody. And that would make the other enemy team, if you're doing like PvP, for instance, a little bit hesitant to run, Constantine. Because now you've got this character who is like, he can do quite a bit of damage. And then every time he hits you, you're getting burned. It's just doing a lot, right? So it creates this like, oh, I need to be careful with this character, right? And who I'm running on my team. And so all these things are to say, when you're coming back to your support really needs to match the team that the character is being placed into. If they don't, then you have just dead weight. That's the thing with supports. They're either going to be goated, meh, or just they're not going to work on this team, right? And so pairing support with the right comp is crucial to pushing. So we're at a stage now where it is about pairing the right supports with the right team. So that way, remember, all 5 slots need to be doing something that's pushing your team forward. That's what I wanted to make this video about. I hope this helps. And remember, failing is just your first attempt at learning.